welcome to the channel. I'm gonna make this video because my games are starting to pick up a little bit in popularity, and I realize like nobody knows who I am on the internet. I don't have a presence, you know, I'm not popular. I don't have, you know, a big social media presence or anything like that. So I'm just gonna make this video to introduce myself, talk about what I do, and I put on the social medias that I do have. I put out ask me anything, basically, questions. I got a big list of them here, and I will just run through them and maybe, you know, give you a better idea of who the hell I am and what I do. So, okay, so let's just get down to it, I guess. Who are you and where do you come from? I'm Paul. I was born in the early 80s. I live in Ohio in the US, and I always have. I've moved, you know, different places. I'm coming to you right now from my office, my development area. This is where I make all my games, all my garbage that I work on. So yeah, that's it's pretty simple. I'm just a dude who likes collecting classic games. I like creating. I've always, you know, been into drawing. Sometimes you can't tell by some of the, you know, some of the like cursed one. You can't really tell that I can draw. I can, I swear. But all right, what do we got? What all do you do? So I'm best known, I would say, from Cursed 1, 2, and 3, my Cursed games. They're the ones that are picking up the most traction. Other than that, I stream on Twitch. I play classic games. I am trying to beat every single NES game that has ever existed. I own 670 or 680 out of like 770 or something like that. And I've beaten on stream like 200 almost. So not that many. But they're, you know, slowly whittling that down. I do that in my spare time. I have that channel is... I'll put links to all this. Anything that requires annotations or whatever, I'll try to either put in the description or I'll stick a card up in the corner or something. So anyway, yeah, I Twitch stream. I mean, I work 40 hours a week. I have a regular job. I have my YouTube channel. I have 3 YouTube channels, actually. I'll discuss that in a little bit. I saw one of the questions involved that. And in my spare time, I like to program and create games for free that you can download on Steam. Ooh. So anyway, what is the next question? A lot of these questions are going to be about my Cursed series, because that's what people know. So, anyway, why are you called Disaster Squad? Because when I was in, like, middle school, I wanted to make a Ninja Turtle style beat-em-up game called Disaster Squad, and it was starring me and my friends and at the school and all this stuff. It was very basic. But anyway, then that became a movie that we made when I was in, like, 11th grade, and then a sequel that I made in 12th grade, and it didn't get finished until I was, like, 19, 20, something like that. So yeah, I'm called, even though I'm only one person, I am called Disaster Squad because that's the name of the movies I made when I was a kid. So I just call myself Disaster Squad Productions. What is your favorite game, style of game? Super Metroid, right off the bat, favorite game. Favorite style of game? I like a lot of stuff. I like a lot of different things. I collect, like, everything, and I play almost everything. I play new stuff. I play old stuff. Mostly old stuff. I don't know. I love shoot-em-ups, like spaceship shooters. I love arcadey action games. I love twitchy things. But, I mean, I also love a good, like, bedtime game, if that makes sense. Phoenix Wright series, Layton, like those kind of things. I love cozy games like that. So yeah, I don't know. I would say just my favorite style of game is good ones. Let's see. Is the Curse series your final series? Like, you're not going to do any other games besides just upgrading or adding stuff to 1, 2, and 3. No, it's not my final series. I am currently adding stuff to 3. And I did add stuff to 2, and then I'm remaking 1. That's, you know, in the future, whenever I get back to doing that. I do have plans. I've started many games that I have not finished. Those are also on the channel. I think I have little clips of, like, all that. But I do have bigger plans to make other things. besides that. And I think I'll get into that in a bit here. I think I saw another question that was pretty similar. Let's see. Will Curse 3 be translated into other languages or no? I hope so. I have a fairly substantial group of people on my Discord who are absolute chads, who are all translating Curse 2 into like 10 different languages right now. And I can't thank them enough for that. There's a few of them done, way more coming. So I'm hoping they still want to work on another translation after that for 3. What is your favorite NES game? Zelda 1. Zelda 1. I also really like, there's a lot of games that ended up being like 10s for me. Some of my standouts were like Ninja Gaiden 3. I ended up liking way more than I thought I would. Wario's Woods, I think that's a blast. It's really fun. I don't know, but Zelda's like the best to me. That's like, I love that game. Blaster Master, stuff like that. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Moose Tracks. It's good shit. Do you have any pets? Yes. I will cut in I'll cut in him. It's Bixby. He's in here somewhere. I'll cut it in. Let's see here. What is the main inspiration that got you into developing Cursed? God, I made Cursed in 2009, and I just kind of was tinkering around with Game Maker, and I was like, I could put something together. I could make something, you know, basic. So I didn't spend any time on the art or anything like that. I just wanted to make something and have it done. But the main inspirations were the games I played as a kid. Certain things always like spooked me as a kid, but I found them intriguing and fun, like mazes and you know, I played games like Shadowgate. Like my mom and me, and like we would go through and we rented Uninvited a lot and would try to beat the whole thing. We rented it like 8 times till we finally finished it. So yeah, those were big inspirations. And basically any creepy old game just stuck with me. And I don't even like horror movies or anything like that. I just think that those games really inspired me to make something new. Let's see. Do you have background in coding or game deving of any kind before making Cursed? No. I have no computer science background. Nothing. I taught myself Game Maker, and I use all of the... Here's the funny thing. All 3 of my Cursed games were made using Game Maker's drag and drop features, which means I don't code. I pull, like, if, you know, variable equals this, change the picture or move this way. Literally the entire series is drag and drop. So, just goes to show you don't need to be a coder to make something. Let's see. Where am I now? Do you have any greater aspirations going forward from here in terms of making games or any other media? I do have more aspirations, like I said, for making more games. Other media, I used to make movies. I used to be in a band, so I kind of would love to do that again. It was just for fun. We just played covers at bars. We did get paid for it, so it was kind of cool. Other media. I mean, I like streaming. It's fun. My voice is annoying, as you can tell. But I do like doing it. You know, I love playing games and stuff. So, I mean, other than making games and working and stuff, I just lead a simple life. I don't really have any bigger aspirations than that. Let me see. Do you have any advice for those who might want to get into making games of their own? Like, where would one start or get some minor experience? That's a good one. Start small. Start really small. Cursed 1, I made in a week. I did not try to make the art good. You could tell. When you play it, it's a piece of poop. But I did finish it. Finishing something is extremely important, even if it's terrible. Just finish something. Make a tiny game. You learn from every cruddy thing you make. So just make things. It doesn't matter if nobody plays them. I made that just so that my roommates could play it way back when, and my friends. I didn't make it for any other reason. I never wanted to make money or anything. You just make things. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know? Let me see. Was Curse 3 your magnum opus, or do you intend to make even more games in the future? Yes. And, the magnum opus thing, I have an idea for a game that I feel like will be my magnum opus when I'm done with the Curse series. It's going to be a galaxy-spanning adventure game with kind of a mix of Contra and Super Metroid and Mass Effect and what's that other one called? Star Control. It's a mix of a lot of things. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's, you know, hasn't even been touched yet, but I do have ideas. Let's see. Do you have any pet peeves about gaming? Yes, I sure do. Let's see. My pet peeves in terms of gaming is I hate the word Metroidvania. I frickin' hate that word. It, it's such a misnomer because, how do I put it? Okay, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is where the Castlevania part of that comes from, but that game was just Metroid. That's all. They just aped Metroid. They just took it. But then Castlevania somehow got lumped in with Metroid because they copied it so hard. So now anything that's a Metroid-like is like a castle, you know, a Metroidvania. I hate it. It just doesn't work. It's like if the next Mario game was like a puzzle game, and then everyone's calling it, oh, Mario Tetrises or something like that. And it's like, but Mario was never that until now. So yeah, it's just because I grew up loving Metroid so much, the fact that Castlevania somehow took the name, I can't stand it. That was a bit of a rant, sorry. What pet peeves do I have in terms of devs or game dev in general? Not devs, like, I'm not gonna rip on anybody. I respect anybody's work. I hate text pop, where a game will be displaying text, and as a word is being written, it's in indie games all the time. As a word is being typed out, it'll suddenly jump because it was too big. Hate that. It's so distracting. And I also hate when like, people into game development act like it's like the worst thing in the world. Like, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. There's a lot of people who do nothing but post really negative stuff. They're like, oh, what it's like to be a game dev, and it's just like really sad images and stuff. I'm like, stop. It's a joy. It's what I do in my spare time. It's fun. Okay. Which games were an inspiration for the Cursed trilogy? Is there in the wild a Cursed game like the same mechanics, gameplay, or lore? Not really. The inspirations were the Mac Venture, games, which are Shadowgate, Uninvited, Deja Vu, and also Last Half of Darkness, which is a PC game drawn by like one dude, and it has that real crude style, which I love and which I do. And Dare to Dream was another one. It's made by, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name right now, but he's a famous game. Like, he works in the AAA industry now, but he made a game when he was younger called Dare to Dream. So yeah, that's kind of like point and clicks that I liked, but none of them involved combat. It's my love of action games that made me like, what if you had the point and click and all that stuff, but you get to do some fun stuff too? What genre are the Cursed games? They're a mashup. They're point and click action adventure games. And the further you go down the series, the more it leans into the action. So like Cursed 1 is mostly point and click with a little really basic combat. 2 is a nice mix, and 3 is pretty actionful. It's pretty twitchy. I feel like they get more fun as they go along too, though. What the hell is up with your YouTube channel? Okay, so they're talking about Disaster Squad GoAnimate. Okay, long story short, in 2019, I kept seeing these videos that I was like, it was like toilet humor, and it was like Caillou getting grounded, and that's all it was. It was like, Caillou, why did you break all this stuff? You are grounded, grounded, grounded. And I kept finding these videos, and I was laughing. I was like, these are so stupid. But the one thing I noticed is none of them had commercials. None of them. Which means none of them were monetized, or like, maybe like one did, I don't remember. But I was like, I wonder if I could make those, since I have a bank account and can maybe, you know. So I started making those, and eventually that's the only thing that made any views on my channel. So I had that YouTube channel for like since 2006, but until 2019, I had like 60 subs. And then as soon as I started making those GoAnimate videos, it exploded, and now I have 60,000, I think, subs on that channel. So it's kind of hard to explain, though. It's like, why does this, you know, this old man make these toilet humor videos, and I can easily sum it up for money. I make a 10-minute video about fart jokes, and it worked. So I just kept doing it. I haven't done it for a while, but I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, long story short, to make a little extra money. So there you go. So this is why I made this channel specifically to not confuse my game dev stuff with the weird stuff. So there's that. Let's see, next. Did you accidentally scare yourself at any point in development of the trilogy? Yes, I remember doing it a couple times. Like, the very first time that an enemy worked in Cursed 1, like, I was just walking around in, like, the coal mine looking area, and just, it just popped up, and it was pretty loud. It made me jump. And while I was making 3, there was a bunch of funny errors that scared the crap out of me. I was, like, walking around inside a house where this kid shouldn't be, and suddenly this kid jumped out in front of the screen and killed me. Did not expect that. Scared the living shit out of me. I hated that. And then, yeah, those are the 2 I can remember pretty well. Let's see. What part of each Cursed game are you most proud of? For 1, the fact that it was made in a week. For 2, probably like the fight with the knight. I think that was fun. A lot of people hate it because it's like a difficulty spike. I thought that was a lot of fun to make. And in 3, I'm most proud of like the midway point and the ending. So, if that makes any sense, I'm not. Oh, by the way, I left out any questions that had spoilers and stuff in them. I'm not going to answer, like, spoilery questions, because not everybody's played these. What do you consider your proudest moment in the franchise so far? I.e., having X person recognize the series. Oh, what's his name? Is it the... I feel like the dude who's behind Hollow Knight said something. He said, like, this is cool or something like that. I could have that wrong. I don't remember. But there's been a few devs who have said things, like, in secret because they don't use their main handles to talk to people online. But I was like, thanks a lot, bro. Like, thank you. Let me see here. And the guy who made what's that called? Shit. Where it's kind of like a Silent Hill, but from the side. It's an indie game a long time ago. Lone Survivor. That guy checked out the first game, which, you know, poor bastard. I wish he would have played a different one, but, you know, I thanked him for that. Let's see. Are there any secrets that nobody that you know of has found yet? I feel like I purposefully told people on, like, the walkthroughs that are online most of the secrets. I guess not everybody knows that in Cursed 2 you can play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the piano, and it insults you for it. So maybe you didn't know that. I don't know. Has anyone really been far? Has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like? I assume that's a joke question. Thank you. Yes, that's your answer. Which of the original ICOM adventure game NES ports do you like the most? Shadowgate, Deja Vu, or Uninvited. Shadowgate. I played Shadowgate and Uninvited on my Twitch channel. It's on the YouTube archive for that channel. And Uninvited didn't hold up nearly as well. Something about it was, I don't know. I gave it like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 or something, and I think I gave Shadowgate like a 7 or so, 8. I like Shadowgate the best. I also like things like Zack McCracken, by the way, like from the Commodore 64 era. Favorite adventure game outside of the 3 mentioned above. Okay, so like Maniac Mansion, Zack McCracken, adventure games. I liked Sam and Max Hit the Road, Full Throttle, The Dig, so some LucasArts ones in there. Oh, those are all LucasArts. Jesus, I just noticed that. I didn't play a lot of King's Quest besides 5. I played some of that, and I didn't really get too far. Space Quest 4 I used to like quite a bit. That game's funny. I've played a ton. I just can't... the Neverhood. I think the Neverhood is an achievement. And too bad it's like, you know, very short and weird, but... Oh, the Goblins. Goblins 2 and 3. And to a lesser extent, Woodruff and the Schnibble. If anybody knows what that is. Okay, next. There's a lot of questions, by the way, so I'm going to try to fly through these. Where am I? Ever considered creating mini-games where all you have to do is see how many items you can cram into the Cursed 2 or 3 inventories? Maybe set a score per item. No, I haven't thought of making a game, but honestly, if Cursed 2 had achievements, which I wish it could, but unfortunately the super old version of GameMaker that I use, GameMaker 8.0, does not support Steam achievements because it was made before then. I was going to have one where if you had a certain number in there, it would have given me an achievement because there's only like a few ways that could work. But no, yeah, I know what you mean, and I haven't thought about that. Have you thought about creating a card game? It may be related to a greater or lesser extent with Cursed or other works. Or it may be something completely original. No, I haven't considered that. I'm not a big card guy. I was never into Pokemon. I'm too old. Like, Pokemon, I was just above the age where people would have... you know, I played, like, Red or Blue with my buddy. And I just didn't... It didn't grab us. Let's see. So, yeah, no, I haven't really considered that. Would you cut the red, the blue, or the red, blue, green, orange, brown, white, black, pink, and purple wires simultaneously? Yes. Kaboom. I blew up, though. Oh, what's... Will you consider doing a collab game with LumpyTouch? I.e., team up with him. I don't think he knows who I am, and I work alone, so I guess that's a big no. He'd be like, who the hell is Disaster Squad? That guy's, like, way more famous than I am. In case you don't know, he's the dude who makes, like, the creepy Garfield, like, animations and, like, sprite work. Stuff like that. Creepy sprites. He's made a few indie games here and there, I believe. At least one that I know of. Were there any series you initially knew little or nothing about, but looked more into after adding their music to Cursed? No. Any of the music I chose because I knew it already, and it just evoked a certain, you know, feeling. A lot of the stuff in my series came about because of music. Like, I use music to inspire, what's the word I'm looking for? Like visions or, like, scenes. I'll hear a song, I'm like, oh, that gives me this kind of vibe and stuff, and then I'll create a scene to that, so... Sometimes I work from... reverse. Start with the music and then make the scene. What was your favorite jump scare? I don't know if you'd call it a jump scare, but something about the little wet footsteps in the cellar of 3 with the lady who's down there. That one always gets people, and I love it. It's just, that one was fun to do. Between Jen and Randy, who do you like more? I don't know. I like them both for different reasons. I guess Randy, just because he's, you know, you gotta love Randy. Would you be willing to do art commissions? No, I don't want to draw, like... either other people's things or things just for money. I just, it's just not my style. I just, I do what I do, and that's all I do. So enjoy it for free, all my stuff. Best cursed protagonist. Probably, like, Randall might be my favorite, but I think Jen is the most down-to-earth and, like, fun. She has a personality, so probably Jen. Did Carl ever play Carl's Kooky Warehouse? Yeah, a little bit. He's not into those types of games, but he did play it a little bit right when I made it. That was in, like, 2010? 2011? Something like that? Would you finish or make the cut ending from Cursed 2? No, I'm done with Cursed 2. There was an ending where you could be super evil that was cut. It's in, like, the cut content in the extras menu. No, I'm not gonna do that. And I don't like making an ending that you can't get unless you start over. I like all the endings to be accessible from almost any time in the game, unless you make a huge, obvious mistake. What is the most fun boss to fight in all 3 of the games, and why? Honestly, I like the final battle of 2. Because it's absolutely, like, chaotic, and neat, and cool looking, and the music's great, and that's my favorite. I don't know. I love all of them from 3, too. There's a lot of... They're all so different in 3. But yeah, probably that one. That's my favorite. The most fun, at least. Why did you make Curse 2 and 3 so scary? I basically dug into my childhood. What would I think was spooky when I was a kid? What's funny is, like, the games I don't really try to make them spooky. They're supposed to be, like, fun. Like, cool and fun, and maybe a little bit of, like, whoa, that's a little spooky in there. They're mostly action, kinda. So yeah, I didn't plan it to be too scary. I tried a few times. Do you plan on expanding the Cursed universe or making new IPs? Yes, for both. Like I said, I am going to make something new in the future once I have time. But I also have an idea for a spin-off. There's never going to be a Cursed 4, especially if you've played 3, you know that there's, that's the end of the trilogy. But I do have an idea for a spin-off game, so that's something that could happen someday. Will there be a rag ending for Cursed 3? If so, would it reference the old one? For those who don't know, there was a secret ending in 2 that you could get, which is silly and stupid. And no, there's not one in 3, but there is some stuff in 3 that, is silly, that you will see someday. What is the first enemy you made from each game? Red Skeleton from the first game, for sure. I remember that very well. Let me think. Cursed 2. The bat. Yeah, because he was the first thing you run into. I had to program, like, all that stuff. The vampire bat. And then Cursed 3, the Shaggy Leaper thing. That was the first thing I made. So, I think there's some prototypes. I think I have pics or videos of it on my YouTube page of when it was just a pistol and those Shaggy Leapers running around. If you could buy the Cursed games, what price would each one be? I wouldn't sell them. If you're wondering how much I would sell them for, I just want them to always be free. I want everyone to have access to these because I don't think they're worth money, especially since I didn't make any of the music. But, like, even in terms of my programming, like, I just want people to enjoy these, so I don't have an answer for that, sorry. Why do demons carry various ammo? Because it's a video game, and if you didn't get more ammo, then you'd be screwed. The best Cursed soundtrack, I mean the third one, has an extremely varied soundtrack, and I like a lot of it. What inspired the designs of the enemies or monsters you encounter? I just kind of scribble. I'm at work sometimes even, just scribbling, and I'm like, this would be cool, this... And they just come to me, just randomly. I'll do a quick jot down of a design, and then I take it home and I draw it. Favorite enemy design. Design, not just like the most fun. Favorite design. I guess I like the Shadow Leeches from 3. I think they're cool looking. The big bug eyes and how they, like, pop and they're weak to light and stuff like that. I think those are cool. The stupidest enemy. The spike rollers from 3. They're stupid. They were made as sort of a, not a rush job, but I was just like, I'll just make an enemy that looks like a ball spider, and then that was it. I just think they're stupid. And, let's see, like 1 or 2 more. Besides Malice, which demon across the entire trilogy would you consider the most creepy? Creepy? Probably little Justin in the woods. And finally, why do you butthole? And I say, why do you? Alright? Okay. So, there you go. That's my work. And, yeah, thanks for joining in. I know the lighting's not great in here. I usually don't use webcam, but I have it to record my little avatar dude when I do NES games. So yeah, go ahead and check out my stuff, check out my games, check out my Twitter, there's a Curse Series Discord. I'll put all these links in here. My Twitch. So yeah, come join me and have some fun. And I hope to... Oh yeah, and if anybody ever wants to, like, talk to me, collab with, you know, like, videos or something, nothing major, but, like, if you ever want to talk to me, go for it. I'm very receptive to friendly invites to whatever. I've spoken... oh yeah, I also do the Disaster Squadcast. I didn't even mention that. I've done some small interviews with just other creators that I enjoy, and I kind of put that off for a while. But yeah, that's another thing that I do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm sorry to talk your ear off for like what, half hour, something like that. But bye, and
See you later, alligator.